Court is going to sentence you to 6 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. With regards to the amount, court is calling 2021 CR 7016, State of Texas versus Jose Lozano. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Raymond Martinez for Mr. Lozano.
And are you Mr. Lozano? All right, we are here for sentencing. A jury found you guilty, and they found you guilty of the offense of theft, $300,000 or more as charged in the indictment. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
We have, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any corrections or additions to the PSI report? State?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. State, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, we're asking that you sentence the defendant to 15 years in the prison.
All right. And the reason?
Your Honor, the defendant was convicted of a first-degree felony offense in this case. Reading the TAP evaluation, he's shown no remorse for his actions. He doesn't say this was the result of being under the influence of drugs or alcohol. His story about how he says this happens is just not credible. Doesn't jive with the evidence that we saw at trial. He says that someone offered to sell him $300 worth of items, over $300 worth of items for $600 to $800. He says his friend brought the trailer to him. The evidence that was elicited at trial indicated that a window of the truck was broken. So it's pretty clear to me that he knew these items were, the very least he knew these items were stolen. But Your Honor, what he's convicted of is theft. And I guess the other part of this, the TAP evaluation, they talked about his home life a little bit. He says he has regular contact with all his kids, but evidence elicited at the trial was he's not paying any kind of child support to Edith Serrano. That was one of the victims, you may recall, Your Honor. Or I'm sorry, one of the witnesses at the trial, Your Honor. I just want to, I know you were presided over this case, Judge, so you remember the testimony, but Terry Kirkbride and his wife are moving from California to Florida, and they lost almost everything as a result of this theft, Your Honor. But what Terry said on the stand is what really stuck with me. And what he said is the hardest part about this is that he lost things in this theft as a result of this theft, as a result of the actions of the defendant that cannot be replaced. So the hardest part of that for him were the photos that are just gone forever. The things that he inherited, the things that his wife inherited, they're gone forever. Items from his military career that are gone forever, damaged or lost. And so that's what I want to emphasize to the court. And the other part of the thing I want to emphasize to the court, Your Honor, is we're asking for this sentence to protect the community from these types of thefts. This property crime, I think, especially folks who are involved in the criminal justice system, we can get sort of jaded and think, well, nobody died, right? But these crimes are very serious, and this is the victims in this case lost nearly everything that they own. And so, Your Honor, we're asking that you protect the community from these types of crimes and sentence the defendant to 15 years in prison.
All right, defense.
Judge, if the court recalls from the facts of the case, I think Mr. Lozano's explanation is perfectly plausible. There was absolutely no evidence presented by the state in the trial of the case that he was present when that truck was stolen, whether he ever drove that truck, ever had contact with that truck, it was ever on his property. His suggestion that the guy brought the trailer to him to see if he wanted to buy it is consistent with somebody who did steal that property, trying to go and pawn it off on people. Him paying $600 or $800 for what was the contents is because all the valuables were already gone. All that was left was a bunch of stuff that after whoever stole it poured through it. He admitted, yes, my print is on the trailer because he showed it to me and he wanted more money than I could afford. And so I didn't buy it. He offered me the other things that were there. The complainant specifically testified in his testimony, the things that were at Mr. Lozano's property that they recovered were of little or no value, right? If you look at the PSI report, when they go to the restitution, it says approximately $300,000. How can you approximate that when he's already been found guilty by a jury? Well, this court knows why. It's because her math was a mess. The complainant testified in the trial of the case that he agreed in writing a contractual agreement with the insurance company to settle for $240,000. The theft statute is very, very clear. It's the value of the property at the time it's stolen. not what you paid for it years before. So when you read their exhibits, and the jury obviously never did, they put no attention to the real evidence in the case. They felt bad for the complainants. I feel bad. We all do. They suffered a great loss, but they didn't prove he was the one who did it. They proved that he was a party to being in possession of some of the stolen property. That's why we had a jury charge all the way down to a state jail. That was the appropriate charge. This case is ripe and full of appeal issues, especially on the issue of the value and sufficiency of evidence. This case does not merit a day in prison. I get it. It's a big loss. But if you look at the exhibits, and I was going to bring it to you, but it's in the court's file or court board's file. USA went through an exhaustive list, and he says I spent months and I kept updating it, telling them all the things that I lost. They put the retail value, they depreciated it down to the actual cash value at the time of the loss, right? He signs an agreement, accepts the check saying $240,000. And that included the truck.
All right, so just so parties know, I'm not going behind the jury's verdict.
I'm not asking you
Yeah,
to,
all
I'm just saying the punishment should fit the crime.
Okay.
The jury did what they did, and that's for another court to look at, whether there was sufficient evidence for their verdict. But my suggestion is, if they've proven that my guy drove off with the truck and the trailer and he had gotten rid of everything, I can see that this is a different case. There's absolutely no evidence that was presented to suggest that. And his explanation fits squarely within the facts that were presented in this case. So I get it that there's restitution. My client is going to have a lifetime consequence because of his resident status of potentially being excluded from this country. So he is going to get punished severely by this court and probably another one. So all that being said, Judge, we'd ask the court to sentence him to a term of probation. We'll pay restitution to their number as best he can, as long as he can. But that's the appropriate sentence. If we're going to start locking up every person who goes to a flea market and those people that come into property illegally and they get it in their possession, we're going to start sending them all to prison. We don't have a big enough jail for that, Judge.
All right. Is there anything you wish to say?
Yes.
All right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, and make sure you keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear. Who's the name of the friend that gave you these items?
Who's the name? I don't know his name. They called him.
Well, I mean, you say he's your friend,
Well, yeah, but
and you say you received a phone call from a friend.
yes, there's. Should have wrote it down.
All right, so here's my other question. The items, because there were some items that were related to his military career. When you saw the name of a person's name on military paperwork, what did you think?
At the point already, I had the stuff in my house. I didn't know what to do with it, didn't know where it was there. I bought it. It was in boxes when I bought it. By the time I got to open it, I saw the stuff.
So how much money did you pay for this stuff?
About 800, whatever was in the trailer, I got it off, about $800 and $900.
Did you look through everything before you paid 800 or 900?
Boxes.
So you just take a box's sight unseen, sort of like Storage Wars?
Oh, yeah.
All right. And so you don't know your friend's name who phoned you. According to you, it says that you were home asleep on this date and you received a phone call from a friend.
They call him Chaparro, but I out the top of my head, I can't remember his name right now. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, no problem. I just wanted that cleared up. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 6 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. With regards to the amount, the court does not deal in approximations. So for the court, there is no restitution because there is nothing here to suggest a restitution amount. It just says approximately $300,000. There's nothing I can do with that. And this trial was on March 21st. I'm sorry, just one moment. Yes, March 2024. So by that time, there should have been some amount to the court. So I'll give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing, state?
Judge, is the defendant's birthday, May 1st, 1998? Is that right?
You can ask him.
Okay. Is that your birthday, sir? May 1st, 1998?
Yeah.
And Judge, would you incorporate the evidence at trial as to the value? Would that be something you'd be willing to do?
No, because again, the amount that's listed in the PSI report is approximately $300,000. And then defense counsel is correct with the amount that the complainant settled for. And I know how insurance companies do sometimes.
Probably
The amount, yeah, the amount the insurance company settled for was $240,000. So this is where we are.
If I could, just one last thing on the record. I just wanted the court to be aware, the record to be clear, that approximation comes from the complainant. The PSI officer called the complainant to ask him that number, and that was his response,
Yes.
even after his testimony that was presented to the court.
I'm not ordering restitution unless there is some sort of deductible, which the court has not received any information on a deductible amount. So the court will sentence you to 6 years in the prison and give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor, we just have victim impact fees.
I do, Judge.
Yes.
We will be filing notice of appeal and a request for an appeal bond. Do you want to take that up today or?
Oh, you have to file you'll have to file the motion and the court will take that up. So if you could have him fill out the trial court certification.
Well, they're going to be filed today. That's why I'm asking if he could be kept in court today so we could address it, or do you want us to set another
It's
hearing?
gonna have to be another date. All right. Once if you could have him do the trial court certification, so I could do that now, please. All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, you have a right to an appeal as this was a jury trial. And counsel, once you file that motion, Ms. Ferguson will give you a date.
Yes, sure.
All right, you said there's brief impact.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are the parties here on Lozano? If you could start your video, please. Who's going to be the person?
It's Terry Kirkbride, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Kirkbride.
Yes.
All right, you may begin with your impact statement.
Okay, I had no idea what to expect in this matter, but I see the sentencing's already been done. I'll just try to keep it short. I think the court's already heard most of our story, but I'll just go down the quick history. I mean, when we made our decision to move to Florida, it was to be near kids and grandkids. It was a pretty tough decision. I lived in California all my life up to that point. Sold our home, gave away pretty much all of our possessions that could be replaced, like furniture, refrigerators, that type of thing. All of our most precious items were packed up very carefully. It took us almost 3 months to get everything properly packed and wrapped. And I bought a 24-foot enclosed trailer, and that's where we packed everything in. On our journey to our joyous move to Florida to start a new life, we made it as far as San Antonio. And of course, from that moment forward, December 4th forward, it's just like our world was turned upside down. It derailed our whole joy of the move. And what was supposed to be looking for a home right away turned into almost an 8-month endeavor because we were dealing with all of the aftermath of the theft. I'm a combat veteran. One of my diagnoses is PTSD, so I was already dealing with that. And then this just totally derailed me and my wife and left us kind of in this state of like, what next? As we put the pieces together, keep in mind, it was 3 years, 3 months from the time of the theft to the time of the trial. And they had some 22, 23 resets. Each one of those resets represented to us is we had to juggle our lives around the schedule of the court. We gave up family vacations, gave up visiting sick family members. We did a lot of things during those 3.5 years, 3 years, 3 months that just kept this thing going. And now we're here at the final part of the sentencing and all that. And I feel for both sides. I feel for Mr. Lozano and how this must be for him. But I also got to understand what it was like for us these weren't just things that you go to the store and buy. This was our life. My wife is a Native American studies. She had all of her research that was in those boxes that are gone, all of my VA records, all of our photographs of our family from the past, videos of the kids, all those things that cannot be replaced, along with all my military accolades that are gone. The impact was great. And I am glad that we're finally at a point for us anyways, where we can just kind of turn the page. I think that's enough said.
All right, thank you. And Deputy, you can take him into custody. All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 6947, State of Texas versus Lee Galindo. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? For the defense?
Brent de la Paz for legal legal.
Oh, yeah. And are you Mr. Galindo?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're here for sentencing. You entered a plea on February 13th of no contest. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And the court found you guilty. You were referred for a PSI and TAP evaluation. And according to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison, and the state is silent on your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any corrections from the state or the defense with regards to the PSI?
From the defense, just I
Yes.
I hesitate to say minor. But there's some victim impact statements that are in here
Mhm.
that they weren't present. I think because of the vehicle involved, they were probably put on as victims because of the vehicle being in their name, is my
Mhm.
understanding. So the only person that was in the vehicle was Miss Ignacio. And it's a very short impact statement that she has.
Okay.
I do want to yes, commend your CLO helped out. Initially, Your Honor had made a referral over to drug court.
Yes.
Drug court, I think, did not want to talk to him or gave him a hard time about it. I came in, talked to a little your CLO. I talked to your CLO and magically we got a. So I just
Yeah,
want to say
because
thank
drug
you.
court usually doesn't give people a hard time.
Now there is, Your Honor, I do want to point out. I think I would save it for allocution as far as the. But those are the two main things I wanted to address.
All right, probation, what's the issue with drug court?
Judge, this is my first time hearing this today. I would need a little bit of.
All right, let's,
Or
because I want to see, because drug court has never given somebody a hard time. They speak to them. So I would like to know who was giving him a hard time,
I'll
if
also
that's
on my
the case.
It wasn't a hard time. It was just, I didn't talk to the judge or anything like that.
No, you're supposed to be screened to see if you
Yeah.
qualify.
Yeah, for the treatment, I really didn't understand the extent of the treatments that they have, and I think I misunderstood about the intensity of the treatment she was telling me that they were offering,
Mhm.
that she said I wouldn't be eligible for because I didn't fulfill some of the requirements on there. It wasn't a hard time, but it just misunderstood.
I think we're talking about two separate things, Your Honor. When I came in initially, when I asked Mr. Galindo if he had heard from any of the parties, yes, I had reached out to him. But drug courts did not want to talk to him because they said he did not fit. And I came and spoke with the CLO. And I don't remember exactly what she did, but the next thing I know, drug court did talk to him.
Okay, and state? All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I do, Your Honor. I think what Your Honor has is a history of immaturity, for lack of a better word. His last DWI, he did go to prison really with not an understanding our plan going forward. Eventually, he had to get out, he got out. Through his mom and help of some other friends, got into the healthcare industry, and as your honors read through his work history, now manages a number of renal care patients. Now has a lot more purpose, a lot more guidance and direction for what he does. Now, in addition to that, I don't know that it's truly reflected enough in here. But he does care for his mom post-COVID. He's been with her the last 4 years. Her husband at the time, not Mr. Galindo's father, husband at the time, developed a sickness, went back to his daughter, and I think in the Northeast, to be cared for. And so Mr. Galindo lives with his mom, supports her, pays a lot of her necessities. And so now with this extra, I'm not gonna say weight, Your Honor, because it's children, but do need to take care of our parents, but with these extra responsibilities, he now has something to focus on. True, wasn't really focused on this particular one. But I will point out, Your Honor, this type of accident happens, if you listen to any of the billboard attorneys or any of the TV ads, and these happen hundreds of times a day just in San Antonio. And they have nothing to do with alcohol. This part did not to belittle the situation, Your Honor, but it's not a situation that necessarily required alcohol. Mr. Galindo, and he can address the court, but I will proffer this. At all times has done the things that he's needed to do. He's had scram on, I think, the duration of this time period because he doesn't have a vehicle anymore. Has liked having scram on. I think he's one of the few people I've ever heard say that. But it holds him accountable. He's happy to keep it on. He's happy to do anything. No drug court has rejected him, but he has expressed that desire to go to any counseling, inpatient, outpatient, anything that needs to be done, Your Honor, to allow him to continue and actually fulfill any requirements that the court should set.
All right, thank you. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, well, I've read over everything and it's something that I need more time to think about as to whether or not I'm going to grant his application. And as my mom always says, there's no harm in thinking about it more. So I want to think about this some more before I make a decision.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recall you all back for sentencing. Norma, when can they come back? If y'all want to do the week of April 29th, that's fine with me. Or if you want to do the week of May 6th, whatever, wherever we can fit him in, but no later than the week of May 6th.
And then the 30th would be okay.
Norma, is the 30th okay? All right, so we'll come back on April 30th. At that time, I'll make my decision. I would suggest that there be some letter or something from his employer. And I normally don't allow people to be in positions of working with the vulnerable. So his employer, if I decide to give him probation, they need to know about this case.
They do, Your Honor. It may be, I'm trying to think of, we did receive letters from his, because there was one of the character letters. And that might just be on me, Your Honor. Maybe I didn't get it in time because I know we were talking about it. Because one of the options would have been if we presented them possibly on Zoom, but they provided a letter. So I will get that as fast as possible. I'll try to even get that this week, Your Honor, so you can review this.
All right, so we'll come back on the 30th, and at that time, I'll be prepared to make a decision.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you, Denise.
Hello, Mr. Ramirez.
How you doing, ma'am?
Oh, I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
Doing good.
All right. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 2909, State of Texas versus Fabian Ramirez. Can our parties announce for the record for the state defense?
Zachary Ross.
And are you Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and reviewed it with your client?
Yes, Honor, we reviewed it together.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Ramirez, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you weigh the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Honor, we did.
State proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, the state is waiving and abandoning the habitual enhancement.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramirez, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I noticed from looking at the plea bargain page that there is a recommendation for community supervision. Is he just applying for community supervision?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor, that,
Oh.
I threw the application in there. I wasn't sure if the court, need that paperwork or not, but
Oh, no, I need the application paperwork in there, but that application is for deferred in for community supervision. So he's not
My
applying
apologies.
for deferred adjudication?
no, Your Honor, it's a straight probation.
All right, thank you. All right. Mr. Ramirez, do you understand you're charged with by indictment with assault family second offense? That's a third degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine.
Yeah.
If you have a plea with the state, court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Mr. Ramirez, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. State recommends community supervision. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Justin Ramirez. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that as your plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, you understand.
State?
Yes, Judge.
And did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
All right. Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. Did you understand that's a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State law for states one and attachments.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor, we're asking that the court waive yes, Your
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Honor. Your Honor, my client, understanding that he does have a long history, we're just asking that the court follow the agreement. Unfortunately, this is a father-son relationship that, kind of, I think, was on the rocks on the day of this incident. My client is aware of the no contact order. He will abide by that no contact order until his son sees fit to ask the court to modify that condition.
All right, so, Mr. Ramirez, at the time of this offense, were you intoxicated? What was going on?
Oh man, we're just arguing.
Why then is your answer to arguments or miscommunication? It appears that it's always your answer is to get violent. Why are you doing that?
Well, I don't know.
All right, I mean, well, tell me about yourself.
Well, I had my wallet and he refused to give me my wallet.
I'm sorry, what?
I had a wallet that had an ID from my grandfather
Mhm.
and I cherished it. And he did not want to give it back to me, so I got upset with him. And we scuffled.
All right, he's saying that you came asking for that wallet and he said he had no idea where it was.
I don't believe that's true. I believe he had it.
All right, so how does that translate to you ripping off of outdoor security camera and then hitting him with it?
I don't know, man.
All right. Do you have any mental health issues?
No,
Have you ever been diagnosed with mental health issues?
no,
Have you ever used drugs?
no.
Drank alcohol?
Yes,
How often have you drank alcohol?
very seldom.
All right, so I don't understand what your issue is. I don't understand why your go-to for arguments, disagreements, or tribulations is for you to become violent. That's what I'm trying to figure out, because I'm trying to figure out, one, should I grant this application? And two, what programs could help you? So it seems from looking at your history, every time something goes wrong in your life and there's some upset, your answer is violence.
Actually, it's not, man.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
I think the appropriate class, I believe, my client would be more than willing to take these classes, would be an anger management course.
Mhm.
Maybe some, if there is available free counseling, for anger, I guess that'd be part of the anger management course. My client would be more than willing to abide by those conditions set up by the court. I think that, as he stated, I think emotions ran high that day, on both parties, but obviously my client understands and is wanting to change and is willing to make those changes. And I think an anger management course would help facilitate those changes.
All right, are you employed,
No, man.
retired, what?
No, nothing yet.
All right, how do you support yourself?
I just work. I work once in a while with friends.
Is this your only child?
No, man.
How many children do you have?
I have two.
And what's the age of your children?
One is 21, Justin, and I have Aiden Junior, he's 34.
All right, this court is going to do, as previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Justin Ramirez, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, the MRT course, the BIPP, and field visits one time per month for 4 months, and 100 hours of community service restitution. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, man.
All right, I'm hoping the MRT course will help you with your thought processes. If there's an issue and you feel as though probation is not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal?
Yes,
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. You're gonna have to start making better choices. Your answer to every conflict or tribulation or something bad happening in your life, your go-to should not be violence. You understand?
Ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, we're back on the record in 2023, CR 2909. Mr. Ramirez, I wanted to let you know, in case I didn't say it on the record, I'm following the plea bargain agreement that you reached with your attorney. So you're gonna be sentenced to 2 years in the prison, but it's gonna be suspended for 2 years. So you'll be on probation for 2 years. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is calling 2024 CR 1302, State of Texas versus Paulo. Laura, could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense,
Applying for the senior to Mr. Paulo Resendez Lara.
and are you Mr. Laura?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Thank you. Oh, no problem. Mr. Laura, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and did you sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes.
We are, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Laura, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand them and did you sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with racing on a highway bodily injury? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Laura, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes,
Defense-
Your Honor, it is.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, sir.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be 120 hours of community service restitution, the driver's safety course, and 90-day driver's license suspension. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead?
Contest.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, you may continue to confer.
Thank you.
Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, Mr. Lara, is aware of what took place. He is wanting to take responsibility and he asked to please, follow the recommendation of the state. That is all, Judge.
All right, how old are you?
26.
All right. Why do you think this is okay to do this?
What's the bad decision?
Why are you making bad decisions? You're 26.
I shouldn't have.
All right, people watching too much Fast and the Furious. You could have ended up dead. The other person could have ended up dead. And then the innocent people who are just trying to get home or go to work could have ended up dead because of what you're doing. How long have you been a licensed driver?
Since 18, 19,
Mhm. Do you have any children?
I do not,
Age?
2 years and 10 months,
All right. When they become 18, do you want them doing this?
I do not,
Are you employed?
yes, I am.
What do you do?
I'm a welder, lead welder in an oil and gas company.
Mhm. All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There should be regular UAs. Usually the patch doesn't work for welders because it's too hot. But if he would like to consider the patch probation, if the patch works and you want to consider the patch, you can have the patch as opposed to coming into the office to do the regular UAs. Your attorney will tell you the benefits of that. It does cost more, but there are certain benefits that go with that. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. There's to be 120 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once you complete the parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. You're going to do the driver's safety course. There's a 90-day license suspension. And there'll be one field visit. And if everything appears to be okay, probation, you can conduct field visits as you deem appropriate. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. In order to be successful in this courtroom on probation, communication is key. If you feel like there's an issue and probation is not addressing it, you can always come back to court. We're here usually Monday through Friday, except for holidays and weekends, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Sure.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.